Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Rishika Barua. The Supreme Court has transferred the Gyanvapi case from the lower court to the district court in Varanasi. It's going to be heard now by the senior most judge in Varanasi, the district judge. It would be better if a more seasoned hand hears the case. This is what the Supreme Court said. The court also took a stern view of the selective leaks to the press about the survey reports, saying this must stop. Also, the Supreme Court has called for a healing touch and maintained that peace is the top priority for the court.
Varanasi's senior most judge will now hear the Gyanvapi mosque case. The Supreme Court shifted it from a civil court that gave orders for filming inside the mosque on a petition by 5 Hindu women who claim there are idols of Hindu gods and goddesses inside the mosque. There's been a lot of controversy around the court case and its survey, especially with its report being leaked on Thursday.
Justice D.Y. Chandrachud today also said that selective leaks must stop. This came a day after lawyers for the Hindu petitioners released details of the mosque filming report just hours after it was handed over to a Varanasi court in a sealed cover. Justice Chandrachud said that things are being leaked to the press. It is supposed to be submitted in court where a judge has to open it.
वो एकदम सुरक्षित थी, एकदम कॉन्फिडेंशियल थी, एकदम कहीं रिपोर्ट लीक नहीं हुई है। माननीय न्यायालय में दाखिल कर दी गई थी और तीनों बॉक्स उसके संग दाखिल कर दिए गए थे जो सुरक्षित हैं। सबमिट करने के बाद वादी और प्रतिवादी पक्ष उसको देखेंगे। जैसे कोई एप्लीकेशन लगता है तो उसको देखेंगे, अपना कोई उसको लिख लिया होगा या कोई कुछ किया होगा या सर्टिफाइड कॉपी लिया होगा।
A 3-judge bench of the top court today, while hearing a plea by the management of the Gyanvapi mosque against the survey of the mosque complex, said, keeping the complexity and the sensitivity of the matter in view, the civil suit before the civil judge in Varanasi shall be heard before a senior and experienced judicial officer of the UP Higher Judicial Service. The court said that the protection of the claimed shivling inside the mosque will be continued, but it should not impede religious observances of Muslims. The court directed the Varanasi district magistrate to make arrangements in the mosque for the practice of wuzu or the washing ritual before the daily prayer. The UP government told the court that any access to the sealed area may create a law and order situation. The site for the mosque committee said that such petitions and sealing of mosques will lead to public mischief and communal disharmony, which will affect mosques across the country. The side for the petitioners said that the plea by Muslims should be dismissed. The top court must consider the report of the videographic survey of the mosque by the Advocate Commissioner.
Varanasi court is now free to decide their 7-11. Supreme Court has said that it will be decided on priority. So 7-11 में जो concepts हैं धार्मिक स्वरूप के जितनी भी चीजें हैं वो 7-11 के कंटेंट में आएंगी, वो हम भी वहाँ पे आर्ग्यू करेंगे, वो भी आर्ग्यू करेंगे. We are very happy with the order.
Outside the Gyanvapi mosque today, Friday prayers were totally incident-free. It's the day of Friday prayers at the Gyanvapi mosque, which is at the center of this controversy that's playing out in two courts, the Varanasi court and also the Supreme Court of India. But these are the scenes on the roads that are leading up to the Gyanvapi mosque. So what the mosque committee said in the morning in an appeal was asking people not to come in large numbers here to the Gyanvapi mosque because the arrangements for wuzu are not really there because a pond inside the mosque has been sealed. Nevertheless, there are many people who have actually turned up, who have come here. But what they are being asked to do is that they are being asked to divert by the mosque management committee to smaller mosques. The case is now likely to come up in the designated Varanasi court early next week. And the Supreme Court will hear the matter next in the second week of July. With Sukirti Dwivedi in New Delhi and camera person Rajesh Gupta, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
Well, many questions are now being asked of what the BJP's plan of action is as far as the Places of Worship Act 1991 is concerned. Is the party mulling to change this act? Vinod Tavre, the General Secretary of the BJP, has responded. Listen in.
बातें न्यायिक स्वरूप में होनी चाहिए, वो न्यायिक स्वरूप में होना, जुडिशियली होना यह आवश्यक है और इसलिए हमारी 2/3 हमारा बहुमत है, इसलिए हम कोई एक्ट चेंज करें, इस प्रकार का करें, ये नहीं है. हमारा आग्रह है कि सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका प्रयास, सबका विश्वास.
Well, moving on to the other big story we're tracking tonight. The former media executive Indrani Mukerjea walked out of Mumbai's Baikala women's prison after over 6 years. She was arrested for allegedly murdering her daughter, Sheena Bora. In her first comments to the media, she refused to speak about the case or her sensational claim that her daughter was still alive and said that she had forgiven people who had hurt her. Indrani is out on bail even as the trial in the Sheena Bora murder case continues. Listen in to what she said.
Are you writing a memoir or something?
Not a memoir, I'm writing something.
A book?
Yeah.
Something is cooking.
Yes.
Is it ready almost?
What is it about?
Overall, वो book जो है आप देखिए जब वो और टाइम नजदीक आएंगे शायद 4-5 महीना में हो जाए.
After being in jail for more than 6.5 years for allegedly murdering her own child, Indrani Mukerjea on Friday walked out of jail, and now, as of now, what we can say is that she is at her apartment that you are seeing right on your screens. The former media executive Indrani Mukerjea is the prime accused in the Sheena Bora murder case, and she walked out of prison on Friday after the CBI court allowed her release on furnishing a cash bond of 2 lakh rupees. As of now, she is not speaking to the media, but what she said is that she is very happy today. That is the only thing that she has said to the media. We know that how this entire trial has been going on for more than 6.5 years, and that is exactly what the Supreme Court said, that it has been more than 6.5 years, and since the trial has not ended yet, the bail was granted to her. There are a lot of however, conditions that has been set for the bail, which needs to be followed by her, but on Friday evening she was released from the Baikala women's jail, and later she reached at her residence where she is right now. As of now, she is not speaking to the media, but the only thing that she said is that she is very happy. She is continuously being saying, even in the past, that there has been no murder. She has been, in fact, few months before, she had said that one of her jail inmates told her that their jail inmate saw Sheena Bora in Kashmir. She also wrote a letter about the same. So a controversial figure who has been in jail for more than 6.5 years has been able to walk out, and as of now is at her residence in Mumbai. In Mumbai with camera person Praveen Jirohit, Sohit Mishra, NDTV.
Well, on to the other big story we're tracking. Congress leader Navjot Singh Sidhu has surrendered at a court in Punjab's Patiala a day after the Supreme Court sentenced him to 1 year jail in a road rage incident in which a man was killed 34 years ago. He had requested for a few more weeks to surrender on health grounds. That was denied. And tonight, essentially, he is going to be spending his first night in prison. Let's go right across to Ghazali joining us with the very latest. Ghazali, Navjot Singh Sidhu surrendered. He asked for more time, but that wasn't given. And he's essentially going to be spending his first night in jail tonight.
Yeah, first night in jail. Perhaps he exhausted all the legal options because the application was filed in the Supreme Court asking for some relaxation for surrender for a few weeks, because his counsel, Mr. Abhishek Manu Singh, had requested the court that he has some medical reasons or conditions, and that and based on those grounds he should be given some relaxation, but that was not entertained by the court. Rather, he was asked to file a fresh application, and that's why the court order for his conviction came yesterday, and till today evening, late evening, Mr. Sidhu didn't surrender. He thought or expected that the court will entertain his plea, but that was rejected by the court, and that is when at around 3:30 to 4 p.m. he surrendered before the district court, from where he was taken to a local hospital for his medical test, and late in the evening by around 7:30 he entered in the jail premises in the Patiala district there itself, because the case was registered in Patiala in 1988. Now the entire common day, or you can say the timetable of a prisoner or the convict in any jail, as per the jail manual, it starts at around 5:30 and you are served breakfast at around 7, and then you are engaged in some work. Now for the first 3 months, Navjot Singh Sidhu will not be paid anything. He will be seen, he will be examined, or sort of being judged whether he falls in the skilled category, semi-skilled category. One of the jail officials was also quoted saying that they will see whether he is fit enough to work in the jail farm or biscuit factory or in the jail office or library. So that needs to be seen. More than that, we have all seen Navjot Singh Sidhu in the last 10-15 years in his political life with all his flashy clothes and all, but here the convicts are given white uniform or the white dress, which he will also have to wear, because in the jail manual it is mentioned that it is there to distinguish between convicts and rest of the prisoners who are either under trials or there for some other crimes.
All right, very interesting details there. Thanks very much, Ghazali, for joining us with the very latest. After the Congress's Chintan Shivir in Rajasthan, the BJP held a strategy meet in Jaipur where the Prime Minister has laid out a plan for the party for the next 25 years and said that the party needs to start working on it. He also broke his silence on the language row and said all languages are equal.
In a spirit of constructive participation.
Battleground Rajasthan. After the Congress conclave in Udaipur, the BJP holding a key organizational meet in Jaipur. And the road ahead, planned for the next 25 years, said Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his virtual address to party office bearers.
देश अपने लिए अगले 25 वर्षों के लक्ष्य तय कर रहा है। भाजपा के लिए ये समय है अगले 25 वर्षों के लक्ष्य तय करने का, उनके लिए निरंतर काम करने का।
That issues of development should be the key focus of the party was his advice, even as the party meets in the background of the Mandir Masjid debate, gaining ground in both the Gyanvapi case and Mathura Krishna Janmabhoomi as well.
भाजपा भारतीय भाषाओं को भारतीयता की आत्मा मानती है।
Election strategy is also going to be a key focus for the party at this two-day meet. As the BJP meets to strategize for key elections this year and next year, the message for Rajasthan was clear. As soon as party president JP Nadda landed in Jaipur, he took in his car with him Vasundhara Raje, Satish Punia and Gulab Chand Kataria. Clearly, the message for Battleground Rajasthan is clear. It's important all rival factions ride the electoral bandwagon together. In Jaipur, Harsha Kumari Singh, NDTV.
The CBI has raided Lalu Prasad Yadav and his daughters across 15 locations. This is the fourth such raid being conducted on Lalu Prasad Yadav, this time in connection with an employment scam where allegedly in lieu of jobs, land was taken from beneficiaries. The RJD has raised questions over the timing of the raid, saying it's linked to the caste-based census where the BJP is uneasy over the growing bonhomie between Tejasvi Yadav and Nitish Kumar.
Before beginning their raid, CBI officers had to wait for an hour and a half inside Rabri Devi's residence this morning as Lalu's lawyers reached late. But outside they faced protesting RJD workers and leaders who accused them of political vendetta.
आश्चर्य बिल्कुल नहीं हुआ जब हमने रेड की बात सुनी। दुख जरूर हुआ कि कहां हिंदुस्तान के लोकतंत्र को मौजूदा भाजपा सरकार लेके जा रही है।
सीबीआई को सहयोग करना चाहिए, सीबीआई को जवाब देना चाहिए, इसके बजाय उसको बीजेपी का तोता बता रहे हैं। तो ये उनका चश्मा है और वो बताते आए हैं और तोता बताते बताते तो कई बार जेल भोगे, कई मामलों में सजा हो गई। आगे भी जो मामले हैं जो लंबित हैं तो उस पे कार्रवाई सीबीआई अपना कर रही है।
The central agency has accused Lalu, his wife, both ex-CMs of Bihar, and two of their daughters in a new corruption case, an alleged land for job scam when he was the Union Railway Minister between 2004 and 2009. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar's party, the JDU, was quick to refute the allegations that raids at 16 places are linked to the recent political warming over caste-based census with Lalu's son Tejasvi Yadav, a sensitive issue on which the BJP has so far been reluctant to take a stand. Although the charges against Lalu will now ultimately be decided by a court, the question whether the raids can derail the caste-based census depends on Nitish Kumar's next move, whether he will stick to his demand or drop it, which favors his larger ally, the BJP. Bureau Report, NDTV.
After the US, UK and Europe, now cases of monkeypox have been detected in Australia as well. What are the symptoms? Is it a viral infection? How do you get infected? Here's everything you need to know.
From the United Kingdom to the United States and now Australia, there are now multiple monkeypox clusters around the world. But what's different and concerning about these clusters is that they are occurring in countries where the virus is rare. While monkeypox transmission can occur through close contact with body fluids of an infected person, sores, or items that have touched fluids or sores like bedding. The virus can also spread by respiratory droplets or aerosols that linger in the air. The disease belongs to a family of viruses that includes smallpox. Most people recover from monkeypox within weeks, but the World Health Organization has said that the disease is fatal for up to 1 in 10 people. What is unusual about the latest cases is that unlike previous transmission, many cases so far have occurred among gay and bisexual men. Those infected are complaining of pimple-like spots in the groin area, an uncommon area for the monkeypox rash to start. While health authorities in the UK are contact tracing for those who have had contact with confirmed cases, experts fear the known cases are the tip of the iceberg because the majority of patients are not linked to each other, suggesting it is spreading more widely. While acknowledging that the increasing number of clusters are unusual, experts stress that for now, any risk to the public is low, given monkeypox's relatively low rate of contagiousness. But the World Health Organization has warned that it expects more cases in more countries in the coming weeks. Parmeshwar Bava for NDTV.